Monster kill!
Battle begins.
And it's kind of weak.
You could maybe put Snap Morph and run AA Tiny offlane. That would be a way of trying to...
Or Morphling mid.
Or Morph mid, true, but...
But yeah, then Kunkka is going to be the one suffering.
Yeah.
And you'd want him to be, dictating the pace of the game.
I mean, no matter what, they're going to have problems in one of their lanes.
Yeah, you're just explaining Razor to me. I know Razor's going to mess one of these guys up.
I think a counterpoint to that, which you could argue for putting Morph mid, is that the Kunkka mid is weaker this patch than the previous one. He was one of the heroes that used the small camp, whereas Morphling is a lot more about just the lane itself and getting last hits with its high base damage. And I think most heroes can float the lane against Storm, right? So you could do that. You could put the Morph mid. It's just not characteristic for this team to put Cause solo mid. I don't.
Well, we can theory craft to our heart's content, but there's only one way to see it, and that's with going to the game and going to our casters. It's MLP Dota and John X Fire.
Well, thank you so much, Tsunami. We do get into a game number 2 here between OG and Thunder Awaken. Jonathan, last game around, someone in this damn crowd cast Global Silence on us. Have you finally built a BKB, sir?
No. Why? Why would you ever build BKB that has no damage? Why?
No damage.
We're in Southeast Asia.
Lotus Orb?
I'm a core player in C. I don't buy any of that.
All right.
Who needs defense when you have a good offense?
All right, we'll keep it C tradition here. No BKBs, no Lotus Orbs, no nothing. Just pure damage here. And we'll see how much damage these two teams can get in game number 2. Of course, OG, game number 1 victory their way. 1 game away from proceeding through the lower bracket and getting a rematch against Fnatic. Of course, Thunder Awaken, they could still pull this comeback off, try to force it to a game number 3, John. What are you thinking about these drafts?
Leaning towards the OG draft, I think they have a really good idea of what they want to do. They've got great IO combinations with the Razor, with the Storm, as we've seen before. And it does feel like this time around, OG is going to be looking to play a little bit quicker. Threaten around with that relocate, maybe go off to a faster start here for BZM. For Thunder Awaken, they go back into the Morphling. You can morph into Amar's Razor, static link someone else as well, and just kind of nullify that. You have a great answer to the IO.
NXT.
With, the all chat is there. Misclick. The AA is a great answer to the IO, of course, stopping some of that regen, but the hold for something like a Storm, it does feel lacking. I mean, you've got X, you've got Avalanche Toss, but outside of that, in a wider engagement, it does feel like at least a couple of those heroes can do what they want.
Where are we going, Jonathan? What world am I in?
Parallel universes, Mike. There are 2 sets of games that are possibly running right now in different places, I suppose.
Absolutely. Hope you haven't watched the, or rather, I hope you have watched the anime, John. Have you?
No.
Oh.
Sadly, no. I can't. I mean, I love anime, but...
Yeah. Weird anime is what you like. Still, game number 2. OG, Thunder Awaken. We'll get into it. Level 1 team fight to break out, Jonathan, perhaps? We'd love ourselves a level 1 team fight. Not quite, though.
Nah, they're not quite lined up offensively. They do manage to get some good wards out from both sides, so good river wards being dropped by OG and TA on the bot area. Nice forward ward here by OG up top as well, watching the ramp side. They're going to be able to see whenever TA does want to do something or maybe rotate in. Kind of build off from there. Of course, we're taking a look at mid first with BZM up against Dark Mago. On the Storm versus Tiny, this lane should be fairly even. You do expect maybe the Storm starts to play around by level 3 with a 1-1-1 build. Double Overlord hits with the Electric Vortex can be nice. And you can always use the Static Rim to apply some harassment off. Although with the Tiny, with the tree grab, you can kind of sit back far enough to just CS safely as well.
Certainly so. Of course, BZM, the Storm is a bit of a specialty of the man. Dark Mago, of course, going back to the signature Tiny as well. Last game around, not quite working out, but we'll see if he can put on a bit more of a performance here in game number 2. Of course, top lane as well. Well, we had a look at it, but we'll have a look at bot lane, Jonathan. Of course, you've got Sacred now on the off lane. Kunkka, no more Timbersaw for himself. He'll be against Uragi on that position 1 TA. Another specialty of this man.
Yeah, and this back and forth is something we've seen on mid before. And this is something the Kunkka can handle, and you at least have access to camps here. Kind of farm up if you find the space. You can get pretty aggressive. We're seeing Chu already chasing down on Matthew. Level 1, not the strongest point for these 2 heroes. Level 2, level 3 is maybe where you start to play with a Cookie and Scatterblast on top with the X and maybe the Torrent up. And again, when it comes down to Kunkka versus TA, if you can land that X Torrent combo, you can melt through the early refractions here and kind of handle that durability on the TA.
Absolutely. How is that top lane? Never mind. There we go. Amar, Tiger, they're going to be on the Razor IO combination. It gets Pandamu and Pakaz. The panel kind of already mentioned it. Oh, never mind, Chu, bot lane in trouble. The chase is on. Sacred, can he get it? Yes, he can. First blood this time around to go the way of Thunder Awaken as they do end up finding the clockwork. Yuragi unable to find a trade for himself.
And that's a bit surprising. I don't think they hit level 2 just yet on Matthew when that kill came out. So maybe just a bit too far forward. You got to respect the output of the Kunkka if he does land that Torrent. And we did see Chu being really aggressive early on, so he's already traded a little bit there. And that does give a little play here for Thunder Awaken. Although he's just running up again.
He is. Hogs out, not catching anyone. A little bit unfortunate there. Chu wanted a bit more damage there onto Sacred or Matthew. Meanwhile, bottom lane, or rather top, Bakars dropping very, very low, but will be just fine. We'll go for the Strength Morph and walk his way out. Tangos will be handed over by Pandamu. So all the action's probably going to happen down at this bot lane as you do have a very aggressive set of duos here between these two. Chu, again, going to move in with the Battery Assault. Yuragi will back him up. Chu, he's got the cogs off, but the cookie is going to be there from Matthew, and that's always going to be the annoying thing for Chu during this laning stage. Chances are you can't really lock anyone in the cogs.
They're going to be able to go out, or even if you say catch the Snapfire and she doesn't get the cookie off, you're at threat of the Torrent and some good damage coming out from the side of TA as well. Rather strong start for OG otherwise, you know, top CS on the board right now, all from the Radiant side, with a little bit more back and forth with Dark Mago and BZM, or having a pretty decent time in the Tiny. So that build-up is still there for Dark Mago. I'm keen to see if OG will want to rotate mid at some point. Clockwork for Chu can at least maybe make some plays. The IO, you always like having that little regen on the Storm, and that spell amplification coming out as well on the Overcharge can make it easier to find some burst kills.
Certainly can. CS Sport already, all three cores of OG having an extremely good time. All at the top, already so far ahead. 1k net worth lead for OG, but these laning starts are very strong as now Sacred once again going to be jumped here. There will be a cogs out, forcing the cookie again from Matthew. Purple Mango to make sure that they do end up getting that cogs off. It just won't matter. Sacred's still going to be just fine. But if you are Chu, you're more than happy seeing Yuragi have the freest lane of his life.
It's a ton of farm. There's not much Sacred can really do to stop it. And, you know, it's just slower.
Oh, he's in trouble. The slow is there. The link is out. Pandamu gonna try to run, but Amar able to secure the kill, no problem. The car's obviously unable to help out on the Morph link.
It's just way tougher for the AA to play that lane. You're not really active. They tried to catch out.
Cookie up. Just fine. Just chipping away at the HP pool of Matthew that time around. One thing to just kind of burn through the regen on this bottom lane of Thunder Awaken. G, more than happy if Yuragi keeps that farm going. Tiger, interesting position on the IO. Is going to find a courier. There you go.
You love to see that kind of play. Just pop the overcharge, get the attack speed bonus, and find kill
lane. BZM getting low, going to try and fight back Dark Mago. Now he's the one in danger. BZM, what a Giga Chat fighting back, but not quite enough. Dark Mago now looking to turn back around. Both mid laners dropping very, very low, but both will barely survive in the end.
It's a little bit painful. You are forced to walk all the way back here on BZM, so you've got a pretty free lane for Dark Mago to start to build up in that EXP. Maybe hit level 6 a little bit faster for some more burst damage as well. No bottle top up for him, and the rune respawn is still a bit away, so maybe with a fully filled up bottle and full HP and mana, BZM might be able to do something.
Perhaps. Jump in, perhaps? No, not quite. Dark Mago. I mean, he's got the backup of Matthew, so BZM not wanting to get baited for that tiny kill. You're just kind of staying out of vision, hoping that Dark Mago gets jumped here by BZM. Trying to move within range, but not take the bait. You're wasting a little bit of time hanging around in this mid lane. They are really trying to secure Storm pick-off here, but it's just not happening. Instead, though, you can go for those power runes 6 minutes in. BZM now, he may get caught as there's a double damage, but no, they've got Chu there. He will be protected. Double damage to go the way of BZM is now Pakaz in trouble, but ATF won't be able to go too far. Still mid lane, Dark Mago gets zipped on. You've got the IO there to help out. BZM, can he keep going? He'll zip onto Pandamu. It's not going to be enough though. In fact, Chu now, he's the one in danger. Zip back in, however. They'll find the AA. They've got the damage. Pandamu will drop. They won't quite find they won't quite find the Tiny, but what does it matter, John? Any kill's a good kill right now for BZM.
It kind of goes back to that decision made by Dark Mago when BZM went back home. And they spot out the stacks here as well. They are clearing it under vision, but there's not much contest TA can do. And they're just building up massively on the side of OG. And you've already got a free lane for Uragi. You managed to get this catch-up on BZM. And you're managing to leave Amar alone up top while still having a good dent on Pakas's farm. Everything's lining up for OG. TA, this is a team that we know loves to get aggressive, but they drafted Morphling in. They're going to need to hit some leveled spikes and some key heroes. Level 6 out on Sacred would be big. Maybe once you have that boat up along with, say, the Ice Blast from Pandamu, that's when things can line up your way.
This is risky from Sacred. He's going to try. Torrent is not going to connect, however, and now Chu's here. Cookie is out. Sacred trying to run. Slow is there on Chu to make sure he can't catch up with the trap. Slow is going to be there. Sacred's not making it out. Uragi able to secure the kill, and tips are immediate. The attempt from Sacred, a little bit too risky for his liking.
He's been playing that lane solo for the most part now for a fairly long time, and there's really just not much he can do to stop Uragi. His farm scaling up, Chu, every time he walks up without the snapfire round when they're helping out mid, you're a bit of a sitting duck. OG, again, just finding a much stronger start here in game number 2, finding the stacks, getting the build-up they want. It's pretty scary for this kind of lineup to go fast.
Power Runes again, Cogs are there, BZM will make the jump in, but Power Rune, well, it's going to be top side. Instead, Matthew, he will get jumped. Here comes Uragi, a nice Cookie Chu. He will drop. Dark Mago, going to be just fine. So Chu, he will sacrifice his life. Power Rune does go the way of TA anyways. It was up at top lane, and I believe it was the AA who took a regen. Nobody really winning out in terms of that. Yeah, Pandamu, or rather Pandamu, indeed take it. Top lane, ATF. Onto Pakaz, it's a lot of damage onto that Morphling. Pakaz!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he had the waveform, but doesn't end up using it. Maybe thinking he could fight back. Tips out to ATF. Onto Sacred they go, bot lane Sacred. He's got no help around. Uh-oh, Sacred, he's going to try to run. Dark Mago, he'll make the rotation in, but there's too much damage. The Kunkka eventually will drop. Dark Mago comes in to try and help out, but John just doesn't have enough to really get anything done.
OG, again, just working the map so well. That solo kill for Amar to find. That's very bad news for Thunder Awakening. They need as much as possible onto Pakaz. This is a hero that wants to kind of be a hyper carry, and their jungle's just constantly invaded. OG, again, moving up with BZM, clearing out the stacks, clearing out the jungle. It's always under vision as well. TA knows this is happening, but they can't stop it.
Very, very rude here from OG, John, entering someone else's house, taking all their food and offering no gifts. Very rude indeed. BZM, he'll just take everything from the side of TA. Look at the amount of farm he's been able to get out of this. 600 gold just from the Dire jungle alone. No stacking necessary from OG.
They just let TA do all the work for them. They've got the opportunity now to show up top, get a little bit of a shove. No one around from TA to really defend. Tower just falls freely. So now they can fully invade the top jungle, keep buying space out for Uragi to get bigger and bigger on that TA. The net worth lead already 5k at 10 minutes here, Mike. It's massive.
That's rough.
TA, again, this is a team that's known for playing fast. This is a very slow-paced game for them.
It absolutely is. Give this much farm to a TA this early on before she's even hit the jungle. You know, once you really get that jungle going, you start to get out of control here on the side of OG. Uragi already very close to that Desolator being up, and that's going to be a huge problem for Thunder Awaken. What can TA do here, though? I mean, what can Thunder Awaken do to try and maybe even out the game a little bit, John?
I think you're going to want level 6 on your supports here. You'd want the Kisses and the Ice Blast up. They are trying to give some EXP out to those supports. Pandamu just playing down mid, and you've got Matthew just soaking up the top lane. Maybe once you get one of them at 6, you can start playing around with the X-Boat, with the Avalanche Toss. Blink timing for Dark Mago is going to be pretty big as well, but that's still about 1,000 gold away, so a lot of time they'd have to wait. At the least with support 6s, you might get something done.
5-3, but again, the net worth, a real problem here for Thunder Awaken. They've almost got the blink up on Dark Mago, though, and that might kind of be the timing to try and move in and punish OG for all of this. So you'll see OG even now stacking up their own triangle, preparing it for Uragi. Thunder Awaken, they have smoked up. Mago, no blink up yet, but try to make use without it. Pandamu will be right behind him. Of course, Ice Blast is now available. They'll head up top, try and go after ATF on that Razor. Mago should be able to close the gap here with the Avalanche. The Pig Stick will be there, but it won't matter. The Ice Blast does connect. Do they have the damage? ATF, he'll go for a run, and in comes the backup. OG, they will take down the Razor, but they will punish the side of Thunder Awaken for even trying. Dark Mago, he's going to drop a nice Avalanche, but he's surely... Oh, he's not gone. Chu gets it done anyway. Nice relocate out. The cars will be able to find the clockwork. A 2-for-2 trade in the end. Who does that actually favor though, John?
I think you're pretty happy with that on Thunder Awakening, yeah. Slow down Amar, slowing down that Razor's BKB timing is pretty key, and you're getting that build-up to recover on Pakaz. It's a big sacrifice, losing your Tiny though. I'm sure OG doesn't feel too bad about that, and it's still a long way to go for TA, so this does give OG a little bit more of a bump. They get a good use of their relocate very early on, and that is something that TA has to watch out for. Like, you mentioned this earlier on, but Kunkka into the IO is pretty damn good. You didn't have Sacred around to X-mark someone back, isolate them, find that kill. You're going to need to start working as a unit here on TA to really find all these opportunities.
Well, there's the Desolator up now, John. You've even got an Arcane Rune bottled up here for BZM, so chances are they might go for another fight attempt very, very soon. The stacks first. BZM, he'll be the one to take the Ancients here, along with Tiger. Because Yuragi doesn't really need the buff. He took all the stacks away from Thunder Awaken. ZM will happily take all this gold his way. And that is going to be a very early Orchid out for the Storm as well. That's going to be very problematic for this Morphling.
Oh yeah, you're nowhere near close to your items here to kind of save yourself for Pakaz. The Manta still ways off. They are smoking up in TA.
This is available on Matthew. Near damage, Tiger, he will break the smoke. Do they not see him? Sacred, he heads up top. He wants the bigger target. He wants ATF, but they cannot catch him. ATF just fine. OG completely avoiding the smoke attempt, and now they could maybe just counter smoke. They know exactly where Thunder Awaken are at the moment. OG still sticking around. Thunder Awaken, absolutely nothing for their trouble. At very least, Dark Mago, he is just about to pick up the blink. So you are going to have a bit of initiation here from the side of Thunder Awaken.
Their combination is effective. We've seen it. Avalanche toss out with the Ice Blast. Just melts a hero down. But again, that's you throwing your combo onto one hero. When the relocate comes in, you're going to have more on top of you, and that makes things a lot tougher.
Guesses are there. They'll try to secure Chu with the Ice Blast to fly in as well, and that should be enough damage. Chu, he thought about the hook shot, but won't bother trying. He does get taken down. It's a support pick off here for Thunder Awaken, but again, right now, any kill's a good kill here for this dire side.
You're still pretty happy with just finding something, getting your spells on cooldown, and making some action.
Jump in. Dark Mago, very nice kill, finds Tiger, but it's not worth it if it costs his own life. His team is going to be there to back him up, but do they actually have enough? Dark Mago, he just melts. Onto Matthew, they want another. And this Snapfire, not going to last very long. They might just dive the tier 1 tower. Matthew's gone.
Oh, God.
Can they keep going for more? There goes your tier 1. Pandamu, he just gets ripped to shreds by Yuragi. BZM on a triple. Chu, he'll hook shot. Bit of an illusion there from BZM getting in the way. Maybe have to report the Storm Spirit later on, John, but for now, a great team fight for OG.
Yeah, it works out in their favor. It looked like a good blink angle coming out from Dark Mago, and you talked about that timing. It's their big play. It's their big moment to find more. And they do find one, but they didn't have Ice Blast up. They committed a lot for that kill on Chu earlier on. So when it came down to this fight, they had nothing.
Played another annihilation here from OG, John. Thunder Awaken still just not finding their footing in this game, number 2. Unable to find the opening they're looking for. G still around that dire jungle, maybe looking to move in once again. Sacred is around the corner. They've got the vision with that Observer Ward. They know exactly where he is. Choose not to go for it for now. Maybe just setting up that Roshan pit instead. You've got a blink also up in Yuragi, so more initiation from OG. It is on the courier though, on its way. Hang around that dire jungle instead. TF, hoping Sacred does run up for the creep wave, and will do so, but does have the X back. TF, come along and say hello. Be able to get any damage on. Meanwhile, mid lane, a fight may break out very soon. BZM, he's right in. He's found the Tiny once again. A nice Ice Blast, but it won't matter. Chu's there with the hook shot. Pandamu's caught out. Dark Mago's gone. They'll find another successful team fight for OG. And I'll tell you what, John, they are making it look easy in this game, number 2.
They definitely are. I mean, you find a couple of trades for TA earlier on, but now they're with that blink timing up on Yuragi, they just run all over the map. They've got so much mobility with all of their heroes, plus the IO on top, plus the hookshot threat. from Chu. And now they just go Roche. They've got the Deso on Yuragi. It doesn't take too long to melt through Roshan. And TA are in no position to contest. No Ice Blast. They have kisses, but it's a tough fight to take.
So hard against that Orchid of BZM. Very early timings here for OG, just hitting every timing they could really ask for. Thunder Awaken just not knowing how to react to this right now. And well, now there's an Aegis up on BZM, so you've got to try and deal with the Storm Spirit twice in the middle of a good team fight. Not going to be easy. It's because getting very close to the Manta style now himself. At least be able to purge off the silence here from the Storm. Still not really going to mean enough to be able to fight back, because Tiger now, mid lane, does at least get caught out, but a nice tether away still the Avalanche. It's going to get it done. BZM looking to punish onto Dark Mago. Will juke out the Ice Blast, and in goes ATM into the hook shot. Chu just cuts them off, take him out. Padamu's gone. Matthew, he's not safe either. On the Snapfire, he'll try to run, but there's no running. OG will find 3 for 1, only losing the IO.
Man, it's looking really rough for TA. They just can't get the group up they want. They can't find a counterfight they want. That Orchid out from BZM, as you mentioned, just doing so much. And they have no reliable setup for the Ice Blast. You can toss it out. Only X is there. Avalanche toss is important. The hook shot from Chu to find that angle is just massive. And TA, it's back to one of those games where it's like Pakaz has to hyper carry on this Morphling. He does have the Manta, that's one item up, severely behind in that word. He needs so much time to really get going here.
Certainly does. Thunder Awaken is still just grouping up around that mid-tier 2 tower. Sacred, he's going to run right into Chu. This is not what they want right now. Sacred being caught out. Look at the damage from Yuragi. Sacred almost down. Ice Blast down. Is it going to matter? Not quite. Thunder Awaken, they need to run. Get out of there. It's not safe. This is OG's home now. Because he'll keep trying to get himself out and should be just fine as now Dark Mago with the turnaround. BZM! Oh, he's not going to drop the Aegis. He'll move right back in. He does not give a crap, John. In fact, they will eventually at least find the Aegis. But what does it matter?
Oh my goodness. TA again, they just plump up. They get run down by OG by their mobility. All the regen they have, all the damage they have on hand. And Thunder Awaken, their game plan is shrinking here, Mike. The map is growing smaller and smaller. The objectives are soon to fall down once they feel comfy enough for Yuragi to get that push going. He's got the DD. These towers aren't going to hold for long. These heroes won't hold for long if TA forces a fight again.
Gaben Blessing coming in for OG once again. The double damage on Yuragi. Let's see if he can one-shot someone here. Mid lane, Matthew, Sacred, going to be around. They won't want to dive Tier 2 towers quite yet, but top side, they might start another fight as Dark Mago does TP in. OG, they know he's alone right now. Dark Mago at least gets the blink away. He's going to be fine as Thunder Awaken. They'll rotate. Set up a team fight. Yuragi, he'll take down Matthew on the backside already, so no kisses available on Yuragi. He wants a bit more. He's looking to move back in. Pakaz, ooh, hook shot. It's off the mark. Thunder. To try and turn. It's not a successful fight, it doesn't seem. As Sacred now being jumped on by ATF into the Cox. They go. Dark Mago in trouble. A nice Ice Blast at the very least. Is it going to matter? It doesn't seem like it's Sacred. He's trying to fight back, but might just drop here to ATF. They do find Chu on the clockwork, but it is not a good trade whatsoever. Yuragi now going for more into the meld. They'll toss him back right into the arms of Pakaz. Maybe they can find the TA, and they will. That's a nice pickup for TA. As ATF, he will back his way out, but Thunder Awaken, they do show signs of life.
Find a very important kill. They punish OG for almost overcommitting, missing a couple of their spells. They needed a hook shot in. There's a little bit of hesitation from Yuragi to jump forward as well. Doesn't have anything defensive built up yet. And TA does end up going ahead. It's not enough to turn the tides of the game, of course, but it does give them more to play with as they hug that tree line really, really well. They just had a great position behind their Tier 2 towers, and they managed to stay fairly protected there. No traps to really scout them out beforehand.
Absolutely. Crowd we have here for this game number 2 as well. OG versus Thunder Awaken, just been such a great series already. OG still looking fantastic, John. 12k ahead, even with that loss up the top lane. They just don't seem frazzled. They might just keep it going. BZM just find himself another power room, but it's just going to be an illusion. Not too big of a deal, so Tiger, go ahead and move in. Let's go ahead and pick it up for himself on the IO. While Thunder Awaken, just keeping that farm going, just protecting Pakaz, trusting the Morphling eventually will just outscale OG. Jay seemingly no rush to move their way back in for a team fight for now. Happy to sit back and relax. In the Dire jungle though. Bodies are around. OG gonna show up once again under Awaken. Around the corner. See what's happening here from Yuragi, making sure no information can go the way of Thunder Awaken. Towards that top tier 2 tower they go. OG, they're ready for another. Or are they? They do back off preemptively.
Play it safe. Respect the fact that TA managed to take that fight up there and just kind of work the map. You have much more of the map under your control here for OG. They could opt to just wait for the next Roshan that is giving, again, recovery time here for Pakaz and everyone else. Kind of catch up. And Thunder Awaken will actually take this opportunity to smoke up. Their team fight's all ready, all the ults are up. They just need to find the angle and find some key heroes to hold on.
Here you go. 4-man smoke. Pakaz will just sit back in that triangle for now. DF in the mid lane. He'd be a great target to start with here for Thunder Awaken. Smoke on smoke situation now. OG ready to fight back. Mid lane they go. Thunder Awaken, they will retreat. G very cautiously moving up that mid lane. Get to the Dire jungle. Does seem like they will. Zip in from BZM, getting some early vision. Pakaz on the low ground may get spotted. OG still wrapping around the long way. Rocket Flare gonna give the vision. Hook shot is there. Both supports being caught out, and they're just gonna get melted. The boat does fly in, they'll try to fight back here. ATF dropping low. Tiger, he will eventually drop down on the IO, but it seems like TA need to back their way out. It's still a 2-for-1 trade so far, but Sacred, is he manning up too much? He definitely is the Kunka. Is going to drop us now. Matthew, he will go down as well. Pakaz on the Morphling, he's the big target, but he's going right down. The waveform out, not dead yet. Dark Mago, nice avalanche. He'll try to turn this one around. Yuragi now, he's in trouble. He'll go down. Thunder Awaken, fighting back, showing signs of life as ATF. He'll be all right. Is that a successful team fight for Thunder Awaken, John? They did commit a couple buybacks there. They
commit a lot of buybacks, but they do make it work and kind of hold on to the game. 2K gold swing their way, 3 buybacks brought out for 3 kills and a dieback on Taiga. And I think that works itself out. TA, again, showing us that they have play. The big difference there was that Matthew managed to get up to the high ground, get the kisses off. If he didn't manage to get that done, if he didn't manage to reposition himself, there would have been a real big lack of damage. And just that foresight from him to get up there, help the team out was big.
Pakaz barely surviving. You'd think Pakaz surely drops here on that Morphling, but he got the Strength Morph off in time, and they just didn't have the damage. In fact, the Meld Strike, I believe, was duked out with the Manta. Had that landed, it may have been a different story in that team fight, but quick Manta here from Pakaz, saving his life.
Quick fingers coming out there, and Thunder Awaken now looking like they've got a lot to play with. Farm on Pakaz has managed to catch up, second only to Amar. BKB coming out on the Morphling. And that should allow Pakaz to definitely hold the front line for his team, help out the cause, get some damage off, get buffed up by the boat, you know, be a lot harder to burst down. You do have pretty good itemizations coming out from Sacred here to help out with that. Rate pack has been up for a while on the Kunkka. So the damage output coming out from OG isn't as bursty as it once was. And as the game goes on, Ice Blast just feels like a stronger and stronger spell. It's always relevant. It doesn't care for spell immunity. If you catch the IO +1 with that, then the combination of OG just doesn't get as durable.
Thunder Awaken still 12k behind. The net worth has not changed too much. OG, another 4-man smoke up. Back to the Dire jungle they go. This time Thunder Awaken, they'll show themselves in the mid lane. They might have the low ground disadvantage. Pakaz, he's going to move his way up right into OG. They'll see the Morphling, but they will not make the jump. Chu just trying to get some vision down, but the rush is there. Dark Mago, no hesitation. In with the avalanche toss. We'll find one. Meanwhile, BZM, however, he's got the AA locked down. Can he secure? He can. That's one, but Pakaz, he gets BZM down. Oh, they've got the Storm. It's a great start for Thunder Awaken, as now they've found Tiger on the IO. That'll be another.
Oh, jeez. Pakaz is just holding his ground, very confident with that BKB. You're still looking for a little bit more. They saw Yuragi.
Oh, Yuragi, he's the big one. Yuragi, he'll blink up towards the north. Can they find him mid-TP? Oh, Dark Mago. So close yet so far.
They're getting confident on TA though. They know that with these items up and because the investment's coming through, he takes a net worth lead now. And it's almost a similar situation to last game where you're sacrificing Dark Mago and Sacred, but in this case, the Morphling is a very strong hyper carry. So you can kind of just leave it all to Pakaz, get his spell immunity off. Suddenly the Storm's not going to be an issue. You just need to find a way to maybe stop Amar from zapping away.
Here we go again. OG, Dark Mago, he'll break the smoke. No detection to spot this Tiny out though. They will at least land the Plasma Field. Sentry Ward down, Dark Mago still fine, has their help. BZM, hook shot, not gonna land. Still a knife cocks out. Matthew, he's the one caught but not down yet. In fact, he'll sacrifice his life. Thunder Awaken, they do not want to force the fight like this. They'll let the Snapfire die. Problem is, John, Roshan is available for OG.
Got a good angle for the Roche. There is the Ice Blast ready on TA, and they've got the boat ready as well if they really do want to force that issue. But with the second Aegis coming out for OG, that should open up the possibilities onto the tier 2s. TA has managed to handle Aegises before, so maybe they managed to find some punishment and slow down the pacing here from OG, but no contestation at all. The damage is just way too high.
Look up the cars around here, John Sacred. He is scouting out. Roshan still dropping very, very low. Dark Mago, he'll make the jump in. They do find the clockwork. That might be one down. Chu still alive. Dark Mago, he's forced to pop the BKB and run. Uragi right behind. Dark Mago for now. He's fine with the hook shot. Chu, he finds him. Where's the follow-up damage? It's not going to be there. Meanwhile, Pakaz 1v4. He'll wait for him out. The clockwork still going, still alive. Surely goes down. Pakaz in the meantime dropping low. Can he make it out? He can. Sacred, however, he cannot. A 1-for-1, Roshan still available, and a double damage rune being spawned up. Well, of course there is, John. Why the hell not?
Yep. You ask for it and you get it. Uragi straight into the pit. The Roche definitely going to melt. We're going to see probably a tier 2 into the tier 3. Thunder Awakening. Respawns aren't too long, so you should be able to have Sacred back up. Maybe have the boat up ready to go as well to stall out this fight. But TA has a lot to play against. All the tools are here for OG.
On the bot side, they found the IO, they found Uragi!
What?
Oh, the relocate! Thunder, can they find a second dive? Matthews moving in, Uragi's been caught out,
Oh my
Uragi's gone!
God!
BZM, he'll zip out, no mana left. He's got the BKB though, he should be fine. Oh, OG! John, what have they done?
They relocated right on top of the area where all of TA was at. Like, they just get smashed by the side of TA, and that's the Aegis gone. I thought they'd take high ground, maybe they'd take the tier 2 into a tier 3, force some objectives down. They go back into this jungle and they just melt. They need to start these fights with BZM. They can't just jump in like that with TA.
Because he's almost at that Eye of Skadi now as well, John. Big power spike coming for the Morphling. Things getting very spicy in this game, number 2. Only an 8k advantage now for OG. Slowly but surely just been dropping back the way of Thunder Awaken. Pakaz top of the net worth as per usual on that Morphling, and looking very, very scary this time around in game number 2 as Thunder Awaken maybe thinking about a smoke. You group up as 5. Do they want to try? They will. Where do they head though, John?
Their map is fairly dark. They don't have the most forward wards here on Thunder Awaken. Gonna try to flank up top. They get the scan off. It's only Taiga they really spot out with that though.
They've got that target for this fight, John. They go for the surprise reveal. Oh, Amar, he might run right into them. ATF, be very careful, sir. Dark Mago, not going to be able to find the jump in. ATF, still showing on the creep wave, but Thunder Awaken don't want to jump that deep. Now OG smoke up. Through the mid lane they go. They'll see the Tiny. It's a great target to make the jump on, but they know he's got his whole team behind him. ATF, he'll wrap around the long way. Through the Dire side, Matthew may get spotted. That's a great start if they find the Snapfire. ATF, who are you going for though? Hookshot is there. That's a great hookshot into the content of the staircase. Because he'll at least find Chu. They do also find Tiger and Sacred down. Dark Mago onto ATF. They've got the Razor. Do they have the damage? So they do have the Morphling still going, but ATF just manning up, still going for the team fight. Meanwhile, BZM. Dark Mago still going for the card. And he's doing it. What a fight! Dark Mago, however, he doesn't have one in Uragi. A very back and forth team fight. Who actually won this one, John?
Still looks like a win for Thunder Awakening. They take out Uragi to force the buyback out on Chu. Bit of an interesting choice there at the end to try to go for that last hit on the Morphling from Pakaz onto Yuragi, kind of costing him that. He had enough space to back himself out. Probably not necessary to die, but TA again stay in the game. They drag that lead down only to 4K. The gold's been dwindling away from that lead on OG, and Thunder Awakening has been finding ways to make it work. Just great tosses back, lots of damage and durability coming out from Morphling. If Pakaz finishes up something like, say, a Satanic, I think he can go for those riskier plays without too much trouble.
OG, 5K ahead now. Again, slowly but surely dropping. Teamfight's feeling very forced now. At some point, do you think it's just about knowing that they're not going to scale too well into the Morph Jump? They just don't have the confidence going to that ultra late game stage for OG.
No, I don't think it's that big of an issue. If you do manage to chain stun and find Pakaz first, once these BKBs dwindle away, which they are, it's down to 6 seconds, you can actually play here. And I like the itemization coming out. BZM's going for the Ags on the Storm. AoE Vortex is one very big way to do that. The issue with OG in the past few fights is it does feel a little bit disconnected. You get these great hook shots out from Chu, but a fight breaks off elsewhere where BZM is jumping in with Yuragi. And that kind of split focus just gives TA more angles to take there.
Replay you talked about, Pakaz kind of going back in for Yuragi, but eventually Dark Mago at least gets the job done. Maybe not expecting the silence to come out. There you go. He's not happy about that one.
Yeah, it looked like he had the opportunity to walk out. The silence not allowing to attribute shift was pretty painful, but it's still a rather back and forth game. The 5K lead for OG still stands at 32 minutes in. It doesn't really count for too much. Farm distribution from OG is a lot more even across their course in comparison to TA. But that also means that Yuragi, say, at this state of the game isn't quite as hyper farm, right? Like, you don't have as much physical burst just yet. He is saving up for his Daedalus into his own Scotty, but there's more time necessary for the TA to hit that mark, and at this point, the Morphling is just massive. Like, if you don't catch Pakaz out, he will take way too long to kill off, even with a Razor zapping away his damage.
Yeah, he's in that dire jungle. Thunder Awaken, they're making their way over. They've got the illusion to scout out the Storm, but he's going to be able to back off. Just immediate zips away. Smokes to come out from either side yet. For now, both of them just sitting back, maybe waiting for that Roshan time to get a little bit lower. Plenty of time for that next Roshan to spawn up.
Your atrocity
Mago shying in the mid lane, but OG just not confident to try and make a jump in on the Tiny, and Thunder Awaken just always remaining grouped up apart from Dark Mago. OG, they'll do the same. Not confident being solo right now. It's a very, very scary point in this game. Axe being built up on BZM. That could be a massive game changer for OG. So much control available on BZM, though he does have a while to go. Daedalus also built up in Yuragi now, so damage, not so much an issue.
It's a little bit more to kind of try to burst down, especially the sports. But I think if you can somehow jump the Snapfire and the AA once more, you take away that Ice Blast and the Kisses, the fights do simplify. You don't have to worry about not having regen on hand, and if you can maybe find Sacred on top as a cherry on top, it becomes really easy for OG to use their damage here. Smoke out from OG and try to find that angle. Again, you would want the supports dead, and then you can kind of clean up afterwards.
5-man smoke. Through the top lane they go. OG, looking to get through to that dire jungle. Thunder Awaken, hang around the mid-river for now. Also enter back into that dire jungle, though for now they do have a low ground disadvantage. This could be very bad for Thunder Awaken if they get caught with their pants down here. Few will hang around the Roshan pit. OG, very patiently waiting on that high ground. TF on the front lines for his team. Awaken, they will not make their way over quite yet. Grid close to ATF, you can almost smell him right now. Sacred. Hook shot is there too. What an initiation. A great one, in fact. BZM right in. Do they have it? Yeah, they do. They've got the Kunkka. Sacred's down. Yuragi, he's on a Dark Mago. They want that Tiny. He's not dead yet. However, Pakaz, he'll make the jump back in onto ATF, looking for a trade. High five up, but it's not going the way of ATF. The Morphling still has the waveform out as Dark Mago. Back in with the Avalanche, with the toss. 1 for 1 onto the IO. Tiger's gone as well. Yuragi, he'll be able to blink out for now. TP away, will be just fine. A successful team fight for Thunder Awaken.
They make it work. They even though they play under the ward, the hook shot just onto one, not quite clumping them up here for True this time around, does make a massive difference. The buyback was forced out of Thunder Awaken, so it's not the clearest win out. Sacred not going to have that for a long time. But they've got the opportunity to go for objectives, going on to that tier 2 mid. First tier 2 of the game here, Mike. After such a slow start for TA, they find this objective first.
He pulls out. Talk to me about the state of the game, John. Still a 6k net worth lead for OG, but it does feel like Thunder Awaken have... Go for a zip in, but zip right back out. Bit of a warning shot here from BZM. Obviously without his team. Can't really commit for the big kind of team fight. So Thunder will take over this Radiant Triangle. Becomes their home now.
Just get some farm up. Roche, a few seconds away here, Mike. Big objective to take. Look at how protected it is for Thunder. 2 wards watching that pit. They've got to be able to tell when OG does come in if they want to fight.
Sean will respawn Matthew. Should spot it out. Things are there. Rocket Flare will give OG the information as well. Such a big objective to go for now. OG right now, considering the position they're in, they can't really afford to let this one go down for free. There is a refresher shot also available on this one as Yuragi his way over. Thunder Awaken still remaining in position for this Roshan fight. They'll go for the 5-man smoke. To the triangle, they're looking for that Radiant jungle as the Rocket Flare again, giving the information away that Thunder Awaken are not in the pit right now, and OG, they immediately retreat knowing that there's probably a smoke going, but there's a counter smoke, a 5v5 engagement. Here we go, Yuragi, he does put out Dark Mago, backs his way out, hook shots there too, he's right in, they've got the Conquer, in fact no they don't, the 4-star, we'll save the day for now. True, the only one dropping for now, the Ice Blast is there, Amar, he'll get jumped on by the Morphling, disarms there however, they can't buy back. In fact, never mind, they can. They'll find 3 for their trouble. Yuragi still trying to run. Dark Mago, he'll let him go. They just want the Roshan.
Oh my god, that was on the edge there for Picasso once more, but he does manage to hold his own. They play very well on TH, just avoid. Their smoke dropped on Vision. They were under a trap, and OG were not able to capitalize. So they get the angle they need. They keep trying to jump the Kunkka. But Sacred is so tanky that it's just so hard to find, and TA are the one to take the Roche, and now they have this opportunity to maybe look for that pressure onto the high ground, shut down the map, and make this to be an incredibly difficult, if not near impossible game for OG. Thunder Awakening, I mean, they're after a really slow start here, Mike, they're finding themselves in a really good position.
Yeah, and you look at the win probability as well, John. Suddenly, the way of Thunder Awaken, 63%. That's what you love to see. It's a mark of a good game here for game number 2. OG definitely not out of this one yet. Still 37% chance their way. Just one good team fight would do it.
Look at Matthew. He's got 2 gems. Drops 1, passes it along. All right, so now just keeping track, and that does mean OG's going to be lacking a little bit of that vision now. 31-31, an evened out game here. 2k lead only standing for OG. It really just doesn't amount to much at this point. Like that 2k lead is. It's not even a major item for the most part, and that tends to be distributed across all the heroes, so you're feeling pretty good here on Thunder. It still feels like they're always like an edge away from falling off a cliff. You know, they're right on the edge of it, but like say if something goes extremely wrong, if Pakaz actually dies twice, and that could be OG rallying back up, and it doesn't take them too long to run down the lane as well.
Keep in mind, Pakaz has his own full Daedalus up down, John, so even more damage on the Morphling. 2 waveform charges as well, always very nice. That added escape here for Pakaz. BZM, try to zip through, is going to get spotted by Dark Mago, will zip the other way. There'll be no chase going. They want the tier 3 tower. No creep wave available though. Going to make it rather hard as BZM. He'll creep skip. There'll be no punishment for it, but the tier 3 tower still going down. Backdoor not kicking in yet. In fact, look at that damage. Forced the glyph up just to protect this top lane of barracks. The cars, he'll keep trying.
What backdoor?
What backdoor protection?
You gotta love it. Tiny
they just buffed this, John.
Oh yeah. And they just nerfed Tiny's attack speed to Skull Patrol. So,
yes,
you know,
they did.
It's not doing much. They clear out the first set of racks. TA in control of this game now. And OG playing on the back foot, Mike.
They are. Suddenly the net worth does finally swing the way of Thunder Awaken. 31k net worth on Pakaz. This Morphling is absolutely massive. Thunder Awaken will have that Aegis available. There's your Aghanim Scepter being queued up as well for Sacred. So the water park is incoming, Jonathan. We love ourselves a water park here.
Beat the heat and beat beat the momentum OG's been building up in this series so far. OG, for their part, I just don't know how you further itemize now on Yuragi, right? Like, he's got the Revenant's Brooch, 20 charges on his Desolator full, bonus damage already up. Maybe you can go for the Swift Blink. That could be one way to amp up the damage on your TA, but you're starting to run out of item slots, and when it comes to comparing it with the Morphling, there is still some play potential, but you just don't have the same stat gain. You don't get the same value from stat items as the Morphling does. Like, the Scotty's just doing way much more for Pakaz in comparison. And he's still going for defensively building up here on the Morph. He's going for a Lincoln's Next, just to ensure he doesn't get silenced. He doesn't have to waste this Manta Cell or BKB early on in these fights. And OG, I mean, they're just on the defense. They're getting farm where they can. They are playing under TA's vision, which gives them free reign to just go for these objectives.
Well, that'll be the bot tier 2 tower to drop. No contest, Thunder Awaken. They might just go high ground as well. Again, the Age is still in for the side of the Morphling is BZM. He's out of mana. BKB up, try to run, but Pakazi's got the Eye of Scotty, slow BZM, no. Oh boy. He's got buyback. It's all right, he's got buyback.
He can come back in, but this is not the way you want to expend that buyback. BZM maybe a bit cheeky with that TP out.
That goes in, they've got the momentum now. ATF turning into ATM. BZM, he'll buy back onto the Clockwork. They'll lock down BZM again. On the Storm, he'll zip out. Meanwhile, Chu already going down to the Clockwork. He's got buyback available as well. Yuragi, he's going to try and man up against Pakaz, but it's not working out. Pakaz, he will not drop. ATF, meanwhile, will get relocated out as BZM. Still getting the team fight going. They'll have to reset. The Thunder Awaken, they're still healthy. They've still got the Aegis. They still want to fight. In we go again. BZM into the backside. He's got the axe in the vortex. Into the hook shot onto 3. Maybe they've got it. Dark Mago still trying to fight. Nobody down yet. Meanwhile, Pakaz takes down Tiger. Yuragi trying to get the job done, but Pakaz finds another. Chews down onto the high ground. There you go. Yuragi, he's in big trouble. Meld Strike is there onto Pakaz, but it's a 5v3 situation. 2 heroes down without buybacks on the side of OG. Thunder Awaken, they do need a bit of a reset. No Aegis available now onto Pakaz, but it may not matter, John. He's full HP, full mana.
Yeah, they can keep going. Looking for the mega creeps here. If they find a couple more pickoffs, that's the end of the game for OG. They've got to play this cautiously. Respawns aren't too far away.
Here we go. Megas up into the tier 4s. How do OG defend this one? Thunder Awaken, such a rough start for game number 2, but they make the comeback happen. Zip in BZM, he'll only find one this time around. It'll be Dark Mago, but the follow-up damage is just not there. Reset once again. Meanwhile, Yuragi, X is out. They've got the TA. That's the big one.
No.
Dark Mago's in. Thunder Awaken. It might be it. Zip in again, BZM. He'll keep trying. Onto the Snapfire. That'll be one down, but buyback's immediate. ATF trying to buy back, but the Ancient, it's exposed. Thunder Awaken, it's not over until they say it's over. We're going to our game number 3. And what a series this has been so far, John. What a series it's been so far. What a comeback from Thunder Awaken.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous game. OG had this fantastic start. They managed to build up well. They had an overwhelming lead almost early.